Good morning, everybody. In the previous class, we have discussed about what are coordination compounds. Okay, coordination compounds. Just a recap. Actually, hi, I am V. Srinivaslu, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, Nagarjuna Government Degree College, Nalgonda. Okay, today we discuss about. Okay, in the last class we have discussed what are coordination compounds, definition, examples, and what are double charts, examples, definition, and what is the major difference between coordination compounds, how they differ from normal double charts. Then coordination compounds, different terms. Coordination compounds. In coordination compounds chapter, we come across with different new words. What is a coordination compound? What is a ligand? What is central metal atom? What is okay? What are different ligands? Okay. Then what is a charge of the complex? What is cationic complex? What is anionic complex? Huh? Then we discussed about especially ligands. What are ligands? What are different types of ligands based upon donating electron pairs and the nature of the charge on the ligand, negative ligands, positive ligands, and neutral ligands. Based on the electron pairs donation, number of electron pairs donation, monodentate, bidentate, tridentate, and polydentate ligands. We had discussed with examples. Then after that, how to calculate a complex ion charge we discussed. From that complex ion charge, we have to how to discuss how to we calculate central metal atom oxidation number. We discussed with the 2-3 examples. Then followed by what are chelating ligands. This is very important. What are chelating ligands? What are chelates? What is chelation? Okay. Then how these chelates are more stable than other non-chelates. So coordination compounds, how these chelation affect the coordination compounds. 5-member rings and 6-member rings are more stable. 5-member rings chelates are stable than 6-member rings. The two 5-member rings having double bond is unstable. Then 6-member rings are more stable even though they have double bonds. Okay. Then after that we discussed in the previous class IUPAC nomenclature of coordination compounds. So what are the rules? Just we go through fastly. Then after these rules, we'll discuss these rules by applying to different inorganic compounds. By taking different examples, we revise, we use this coordination naming of coordination compounds through IUPAC method. So first, what is the rule? First rule, you see, first rule, uh, first first rule, the name of the coordinate compound, first name should be cation followed by the anion. It may be complex ion or counter ion. So first we have to mention the cation followed by anion. And the second rule, ligands. You see, ligands. In order to mention the ligands, di, tri, tetra, we use number, letters. Then we have to tell the when naming while naming the IUPAC organic inorganic compound, coordinate compound, we have to mention them as per alphabetical order. Okay, we'll give one example. Then, if coming to the neutral ligands, negative ligands, we have to put O. You have to give some O to the and suffix to the ligand. For example, chlorido, cyanido, fluorido, hydroxo, carbonato, oxalato, all these are negative ligands. So generally negative ligands name ends with the O as a suffix. We know that. Then there are some neutral molecules. For neutral molecules, we have specific names. For water, we use aqua as a name. Ammonia, we use amine. Carbon monoxide, we use carbonyl. And NO, nitrosyl. So these are the neutral ligands. NO plus nitrogen. So generally, positive ligands IUM as a suffix. Negative ligands O as a suffix. For the positive ligands IUM. Neutral ligands, there is no specific suffix. They have some special names uh, like aqua, amine, carbonyl, etc. This is the third rule. As per fourth rule, we to mention the number of ligands, we use di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa, like that. So each type of this number indicates every type of ligand. How many ligands are there for each type? Okay. For example, some ligands are there. For example, neutral ligand ethylene diamine. In the name itself, we have di. That's why to mention those numbers, we use bis, tris, tetrakis like numbers before that. So that indicates bis means 2, tris means 3, tetrakis means 4. So that means 4 type of polydendrite ligands are there. So generally this is comes for polydendrite ligands. Not only polydendrite ligands, generally the ligand which has number in their name. So to mention those ligands, number of ligands, we use bis, tris, tetrakis like that. Then these are the different examples for neutral ligands and anionic ligands and negative ligands. For neutral ligand, example is water molecule, ammonia, amine, carbonyl, nitrosyl, and aqua, and ethylene diamine also. From anionic negative ligands, fluorido, chloro, chlorido, or bromo. Or we can say bromide also. Fluorido, fluoro, nothing difference. Hydroxo, iodo, cyanido, etc. These are negative ligands. Okay. Is the complex. Fifth rule is the complex ion may be cation or anion. So in general, in the salt of coordination compound, we have two parts: cationic part, anionic part. Some compounds doesn't have only one molecule; those are called neutral molecules. So in the form of salt, we have cation part, anionic part. So complex ion may be cation or anionic. Sometimes we have both cation and anion have complex ions. That's different. We'll give the example. So when in the case of complex ion is negative, and that means it is if complex ion is an anion, we have to put or you and we have to give name. While giving the name of the coordination compound, we have to add 8 to the central metal atom. For example, silver is there, we have to tell argentate. When there's complex ion, when the complex ion has negative charge, or second part of the name. When first part is cation, second part is anion. Okay, in the name we have two parts. For salts, only one part from neutral molecules. Okay, if the complex ion is a negative ion, definitely we have to use 8. We have to add 8 as suffix to the central metal atom name. Example, for example, this example, this one, potassium hexacyanoferrate 2. So ferrate, iron is a ferrum, so we have to, for the Greek name only, you have to add 8. Okay, for copper, copper cuprate. If iron is there, ferrate. If stannum is there, stannate. Plumbum, lead is there. When the lead is in complex ion, which complex ion bearing minus charge? The anionic complex. By telling the name of in the name of anionic complex, we should have 8. We should add 8 as suffix to the central metal atom. So then oxidation number of the metal also you have to give in the parenthesis Roman number. You have to write the Roman oxidation number of central metal atom in Roman number. That too in the square brackets, not parenthesis, in ordinary brackets. Okay, we have already discussed how to calculate the central metal atom oxidation number. We have discussed already. Coming to the, so these are the different names when the anionic complex is there. In that complex, okay, ferrate, cuprate, plumbate, argentate, aurate, stannate. These are the different names for different metals. When these metals are present in anionic complex. Okay, the seventh rule is coordination number ligands attached to the more than one metal. Sometimes in some compound, coordination compound, they have bridge ligands means a ligand which connects both metals. Generally, what we know is every coordination compound has only one central metal atom, but there are some compounds more than one or two or four, five, like that. So when there is a more than one coordination central metal atom, these metal clusters should be linked by some ligands. So those ligands which are linking these two or more central metal atoms, that's why those ligands are called bridging ligands. To mention bridging ligands specifically, we have to use mu as a prefix to the ligand name. So mu indicates that the ligand is bridging two or more metal atoms in a coordination compound. So mu is used as a prefix to the ligand name. For example, in the example you see this is a mu hydroxo. Name is a mu hydroxo bis pentaamine pentaamine chromium 3 chloride. So you see now to name. So this that means mu is used as a prefix to mention the particular ligand which is linking or which is bridging or connecting two metal atoms or two or more. So that is mu. That is the one rule. That's a geometric. When in the case of geometrical isomers, we have to use cis or trans in the case of different isomers. Okay, generally square planar complex 1, 2 or side by side positions are called cis positions. Opposite positions are called trans positions. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 1. All these are cis positions. Whereas 1, 3 and 2, 4 are trans positions in square planar complexes. Like that, we will discuss in this cis trans isomerism in the end of the chapter. So anyhow, in geometric isomers, to mention the geometric, which type of geometric isomers we have to mention. If it is cis, we have to use cis is before the name of the compound, or otherwise trans. This is one rule. Okay. Then we see this is the cis compound. First one is cis compound. This is a cis compound. No, it is a trans compound. It is cis compound. How? These two ammonia molecules are opposite, whereas two ammonia molecules is side by side. That's why this one is a cis isomer. This is a trans isomer. Okay. Then in the case of optical active, you know what is the optical activity? What is the criteria for optical activity? We already discussed in the previous chapter in the third semester. So for those compounds, to mention the optical isomers, we have to use plus or minus. Plus means dextro isomer, minus in the brackets means levo isomer. So what is dextro, what is levo? Already we know that. So for example, if the compound is there, small d is written, that means dextro. So name of the compound is potassium dextro triaxalato, triaxalato iridate 3. So name of the compound is this one. So one thing, so for as per ninth rule, we have to mention plus or minus in the brackets or dextro or levo in the name of the coordination compound to mention what type of isomer, optical isomer this compound is. Okay, then we have different examples. So we have, so all these are examples, all these are IUPAC rules. So these rules are we have to use these rules while giving the name of the coordination compounds. So these are the rules. From now, what we do is, taking different examples, we try to apply these names. Okay. Come on. So these are the different examples. In this class, we try to give the all names for these are all examples. We have 12 compounds, one by one. Taking one by one, we will discuss each and every part of this chapter. So everything what we have learned and how to give the name to the coordination compound by following IUPAC rules, we will discuss. So first example is, you see, the first example, this one. So this one. Okay. Just wait. Okay, this one. This is a coordination compound. So by seeing, it is known that a coordination compound. How? By observing square brackets, it is a coordination sphere. So that's why it is a coordination compound. So in this compound we have two parts. That means a cationic part and anion. This is a sodium is a cation. This whole complex is anion. So we have two parts. It is not a neutral molecule. It is a salt, coordination compound in the form of salt. So first part is sodium, it is a cation. Second part is complex ion, it is an anion. So that's why in this compound it is a complex is anionic complex. Okay, then coming to the name. So before give the name, first of all we see what type of ions are present, what type of ligands are present, what is the central atom. So the counter ion is sodium. Okay, sodium is a counter ion, is a cation. So central metal atom is Rm, gold. We have two ligands. What are those? Cyanides. So only one type of ligand is there in two number. So two cyanide ligands are there. So type is one. Only cyanide ligand is there. So to name the cyanide, since it is a negative ligand, we have to use cyanido or cyano. So okay, this is the rule. Then charge. What is the charge of the complex? We see sodium is +1. That's why to balance it should be -1. Okay. Why? In a compound or in any inorganic salt or any coordination compound, cationic charge plus charge is equal to minus charge. Then only compound stable. That means since sodium has only one, we have one sodium. Each sodium has +1 charge. That's why this is +1. So complex charge should be -1. So it's a anionic complex. Charge is equal to -1. So to calculate central metal atom, what to do? We know cyanide is -1. So two cyanides, 2 minus 2, -2. So total charge is equal to -1. So from that we can back calculate. So when we put Rm +1, that means from this complex ion charge we know that the Rm charge is 1 +1. Why? So total charge Rm and the cyanide ligands total charge to become -1, we have to take Rm plus charge. So this is over. So far from how to give name. So Rm is the central metal atom. Two ligands, it is bonded with two ligands. That's why the coordination number of the complex, this Rm is 2. So what is complex ion? What is central metal? What is the coordination number? We know. Just now give the name. Just now we start give the name. Then you see first phosphorus sodium. You see sodium dicyanide or cyano. So name of the coordination compound, when you write the name, that should be in single word. No spaces, no comma or full stops. Only the total name should be in single word. Sodium dicyanide. Okay, Rm. So you have to put 8. Why? Since sodium is +1, that should be -1. So complex is having minus charge. Since it is an anionic complex, as per one of the IUPAC rules, we have to put 8 as a suffix to the central metal atom. Alright, that's why you have mentioned R8. So now sodium dicyanide, R8 1 in brackets. That's all. Roman number 1 in brackets. This is the name of the compound. This is the IUPAC name of this coordination compound. Once again, sodium dicyanide R8 1 bracket in brackets. Roman number 1. This is the name of the compound. Coming to the next example. Okay. One by one, we'll discuss one by one. Okay. Then, okay. This one, you take this one. Okay. Okay. So what is the rule? First rule, we have to identify cation and anion. So potassium is cation. Why is it cation? It is already we know that alkaline metals, generally in elements, we have cationic nature. Okay, but the two in the name we have first part. That's why the potassium is a cation. So counter ion is potassium. So since potassium plus 1, this should be minus 1. That means complex is anionic complex. This is a coordination compound. How do you know? We have square brackets. By observing square brackets, we know that it is a coordination compound symbolically. Then, while giving name, first we have to identify what is the central metal atom. Silver is the central metal atom. What are the ligands? Only one type of ligand is a fluoride. Fluoride, for negative, since it is a negative ligand, we have to mention them as fluorido. We have to add O as suffix. How many? 2. That's why difluorido. Okay. What is the charge of silver? So we know potassium is plus 1. That's why complex is minus 1. So to become minus 1, fluoride is a single one. Therefore, is minus 2. So to become minus 1 for silver, we have to add plus 1. That's all. Okay. So from that, we know that silver is plus 1 oxidation state. It is exhibiting coordination number 2. It is a coordination compound. In this compound, cation is potassium, anion is complex ion. So then give the name. So potassium, why potassium? We have to give the first name potassium, since it is a cation, followed by the complex ion. So difluorido. Silver actually use argentinum, but it is since it is a negative ion, it's a complex ion is negative charge. Second part of the name. So first part always cation, second part is always anion. So since the complex ion is at the second place, that's why we should know, we confirm that this complex ion is a negative charge, anionic complex. So while naming the anionic complex, the central metal atom should come as a 8. We know that. So argentate. Oxygen number is 1 in Roman number in brackets. So once again I repeat, potassium difluorido argentate 1. This is the name, IUPAC name of this compound. Okay, potassium difluorido argentate 1. Roman number 1, that too in brackets. I think you understood. Coming to the next example, you see this one, third one. You see, also we have two parts. One part is a complex ion, second part is a counter ion. Since we are observing square bracket, it is known that it is a coordination compound. Okay, it's a coordination compound. In every coordination compound, there should be a central metal atom. So what is called atom? Cobalt. CO is cobalt. Cobalt is a central metal atom. Then what are the ligands? En stands for ethylene diamine. In the name itself, we have diene. So how many ligands are there? 3 ligands are there. So you don't use di, tri, tetra. So why? Because in the ethylene diamine we have a number name di. So to clear the confusion, that's why you have to use tris. Tris ethylene diamine. So ethylene diamine ligands are there. Since it is a bidentate ligand, so therefore cobalt is exhibiting coordination number 6. So one thing is clear, complex ion is positive cationic complex. Why? It's the first part. Second part is chloride. Counter ion is chloride. It's an anion. So cationic part is complex ion. Second part is anion, chloride. Central metal atom is cobalt. Only one type of ligand is there, ethylene diamine, in 3 number. We have to don't use tri. That's why we have to, since it is a ligand has number name, that's why to mention the number of ligands we use a tris for 3. So tris. So what is the counter ion? Chloride, Cl3. What is the charge of the complex? Since chloride is a -1, you see chloride is a -1. 3 chlorides, 3 minus. So 3 minus 3, to neutralize the complex should be +3. So total cationic charge is equal to total anionic charge. We know that. That's why since we have 3 chlorides, 3 minus charges. To nullify this minus charges, complex ion should have plus 3. So therefore it's a cationic complex. Okay. Then the minus 3. So what is the cobalt oxide state? We have to calculate. Since ethylene diamine is a neutral ligand, so chloride is minus 3, complex is plus 3. So become plus 3, what you add cobalt plus 3. So we have calculated cobalt oxide state as plus 3. So now we are ready to give the name. So it is a coordination compound since it has pair brackets. Central metal atom is a cobalt. Only one type of ligand is there, that is ethylene diamine. 3 ligands are there of similar type. Counter ions are chlorides. 3 chlorides there. That's why 3 minus. That why it's a cationic complex with plus 3 charge. So by calculating the oxide state of cobalt, it is known that cobalt has plus 3. So from this we can give the name. What is first? We have to give the cation name. What is the cation? Complex ion. First in the complex ion we have to mention the ligands. What is the ligand? Only one ligand. 2 ligands we have to mention which ligand first, that problem comes. But we have only one ligand. So we have 3 ligands. Each type only one type, 3 ligand, 3 in number. So that's why you have to use tris ethylene diamine cobalt in brackets. Roman number 3 chloride. You need not to mention trichloride. So trichloride, if you say the chloride, that means Cl3 only. So if you Cl3 only, chlorides 3, otherwise the best cobalt charge changes. So when we are writing cobalt 3, you need to mention number of counter ions. Whether it may be cation or anion, need not to mention the number of cations or anions. From the name itself, we can know how many number of cations are there or how many anions are there. We'll know. So that's why the name of the compound is tris ethylene diamine cobalt 3 chloride. The whole name should be in one word without gaps. Okay, tris in brackets ethylene. Why? Because generally by this when we are using this tris tetrachloride like number names, we have to give that ligand name in brackets. So tris in brackets ethylene diamine cobalt in brackets 3 number 3 chloride. This is the name of our coordination compound. So tris ethylene diamine cobalt 3 chloride. Okay, go to the next. You see this compound, name of the compound. What is the name of the compound? See carefully. So this is a coordination compound. How this is a square bracket. Square brackets indicates coordination sphere. In each coordination sphere we have a central metal atom. That is in this compound we have platinum. Pt is a central metal atom. How many ligands are there? 3 types of ligands. One is ammonia ligand, amine. One is nitro, and is chloro. So 3 types of ligands. Each type 1 chloride, 1 nitro, 4 ammonia ligands. Ammonia ligands 4. So altogether, what is the coordination number of this platinum? 6. How do you know? 4 ammonia ligands, 1 nitro ligand, 1 chloro ligand. So that's why coordination number of this compound is 6. Okay. Then what is the oxide state of platinum? Before going to give the name, we have to know oxide state of the platinum. So we know that sulfate is a counter ion, is an anion, second part. That's why the complex is cation. So since sulfate is -2, the complex should be +2. Cationic complex, charge of the complex is +2. So from this charge, we can calculate the central metal atom oxide state. How? Cl is -1, nitro is also -1, ammonia is neutral. So -1, -1, -2. To how much number we have to add to become +2? So should be +4. So if platinum +4, +4 +1 -3, +3 +3 -1 +2. So total charge is +2. It's tallied. So this is a way how to calculate central metal atom. So it is known that central metal atom has +4 oxygen state. Okay. So this is now clear. So three types of ligands. One is chlorido, chloro, one is nitro, one is amine. So these chlorido, nitro are negative ligands, amine is positive neutral ligand. So while giving the name of the coordination compound, what we as per the IUPAC rule, one of the rules, we have to mention irrespective of the charge, we have to follow alphabetical order of the ligands. So we have amine, A comes first, nitro, N comes, chloro, C comes. So as per rule, first you have to tell amine, then chloro, then nitro. So irrespective of charge, don't consider the charge while giving the name of the order of the ligands. So as per this rule, then we can give the name. What is that? First we have to give the complex name. Why? Because it is a cationic complex. So in the names of the ligands, first amine comes tetra. Why tetra? It is 4 in number. So for to indicate the 4, we have to use tetra as a Greek word as a prefix. Tetra amine. Chloro. Why chloro? Nitro N, fluoro starts with C. So after A should be C. So tetraamine. Don't consider number of ligands. Tetraamine, chloro or monochloro or simply chloro or monochloro. Nitro, platinum, 4 in brackets 4 sulfate. This is the name of the IUPAC. IUPAC name of the this coordination compound. Once again, name of the compound is tetraamine, chloro, nitro, platinum, 4 in brackets sulfate. This is the IUPAC name of the compound. I think it's clear. Once again, tetraamine, chloro, chlorido, nitro, platinate, platinum, not 8. Which is a cationic complex, not an platinum, 4 sulfate. So this is the name of the compound. Then one more compound. You see this one. So what is this one? This is the fifth one. We have 12 compound names. One by one we discuss. Okay. You see, ammonia ligands are there. Ammonia, not ligands, ammonia is counterants. Each ammonia plus 1. We know that ammonia is plus 1. So plus 3. So total plus 3, total cation charge is plus 3. That's why it is minus 3. So since the ligand, the complex is minus charge, it's an anionic complex, we have to give the 8 to the suffix to the metal. So what is the coxalate is the ligand? Only one type of ligand, 3 ligands are there. The coordinate number is not 3, 6. How 6? Each coxalate is bidentate ligand. So 3 into 2, 6. So coordination number of this complex aluminum, coordinate number of aluminum in this complex is 6. So then give the name. Ammonium trioxalate. What the charge? Okay, this is a plus 3, it is minus 3. You see, this is a minus 3. Okay, minus 3. Then C2O4 is minus 2. Minus 2 to 3, minus 6. To become minus 3, we have to add plus 3 to the aluminum. So plus 3 minus 6, it is equal to minus 3. So therefore, the charge of the aluminum is plus 3. Okay, plus 3. Now start the name. So ammonium, need not to mention the number. Ammonium, you need not to mention the number of counterants. Ammonium trioxalate aluminate 3. That's all. Once again, ammonium trioxalate, no tris. Why? Because isn't though it's a bidentate ligand, there is oxalate in the oxalate name, you don't have any number name. That's why trioxalate aluminate. Why aluminate? Since it is a negative, it is an anionic complex. So ammonium trioxalate aluminate 3. 3 should be our number, that should be in brackets, parenthesis. This is the name of the compound. Then coming to next example. So far we have finished 5. Okay, remaining. By following, you can easily name the compounds. You see, sixth one. Observe carefully, I will give the name, easily understood. Central metal is iron, coordinate number of iron is 6. The oxidation number of iron in this complex should be plus 3. Why? Because cyanide minus 6. To become minus 3, we have to add plus 3. So name of the compound is hexacyanido ferrate 3 ion. Since it is a negative ion, there is no salt, there is no counterants, that's why we have to mention ion. So hexacyano or hexacyanido ferrate 3 ion. Coming to this one. Cobalt is sentimental atom. It is a anionic complex. Chloride is a ligand. We have 4 number of ligands. Tetrachloro. Charge is the complex ion charge is minus 2. To become minus 2, we have to add plus 2 to the cobalt. So charge of the cobalt is plus 2. Why? Because Cl minus. So if 4 minus to become 2 minus, we have to plus 2 to the 4 minus. That's why the charge is what? Plus 2. Plus minus 4 minus 2 plus 2. Okay. Then since it is a negative ion, we have to use the 8 to the suffix as suffix to the central metal atom. Okay. Then tetrachlorido or chloro, tetrachloro, cobaltate. Why 8? It is anion. Since it is anion, 8. Tetrachlorido cobaltate 2 ion. That's the name of the compound. Okay. Then this one. Okay. You see this one. Nickel is central metal atom. It is a complex ion. Since it has minus charge, it is a anionic complex. We have cyanide ligands, 4 in number. Tetra, since it is a negative ligand, cyanido or cyano. So nickel is central metal atom. The oxidation number of metal is 2. This is a minus 4. To become minus 2, we have to add plus 2. So nickel charge is plus 2. Then give the name. Okay, what is the name? Tetracyano nickelate 2 ion. Tetracyanado nickelate 2 ion. That's all. Then you see only one molecule, neutral molecule, is a neutral complex. We don't have any counter ions. Before the here we don't have any ion. Here that's why it's a neutral. No cation, no anion is a neutral charge. So now, charge is 0. Carbonyl is a neutral ligand. That's why iron charge also 0. So it is a cobalt carbonyl complex. Central metal atom is a iron. It has oxidation number 0. Cobalt carbonyl is we have 5 number. That's why we use penta as a prefix. So name penta carbonyl iron 0. 0 should be in brackets. In the number we don't have 0. That's why you have to use order 0. So the name of the complex is penta carbonyl iron 0. Okay, I think you understood. 10th one. Okay, you see this one. Okay. K, potassium is a counter ion, cation. That's why this is anion. K, since potassium plus 1 plus 4 is a minus 4. Total complex charge is minus 4. So from that cyanide is a minus 1, therefore minus 6. To become minus 4, we have to add plus 2 to the minus 6. So iron oxide state is plus 2. Make a note. So plus 2 is the oxide state of iron. Then start giving a name. So potassium hexa. Why hexa? Cyanide ligands are in 6 number. 6 in number. So hexacyano ferrate. Why ferrate? Iron is there, ferrum, but it's an anionic complex. It's the negative part of the compound. That's why it's a minus charge. K4, since it's K4, it's a minus 4. So negative ligand, negative complex, anionic complex. So ferrate. Then you have to add 8 to the iron, ferrum. So potassium hexacyanido ferrate 2. That's all. Name of the compound is that. Then you see this one. It's a anion complex and anionic complex. So cobalt is a central metal atom. It has coordinate number 6. How do you say 6? So 6 ligands are there. Each ligand is occupies one place around the geometry by donating one electron pair. That is a ligand. So 6 ligands are there. That's why coordinate is 6. What are the ligands? Fluoride ligands. So we have to mention this is fluoro. Why? Because it's a negative ligand. We know that. Next, hexafluorido cobalt 3. How become 3? It's 3 already we know. Minus 3, minus 6. It's a minus 6. Might become minus 3. Should be add plus 3. So, hexafluorido cobaltate 3. That's all. Ion. Hexafluorido cobaltate 3 ion. The name of the compound. Okay. Then, we have one more compound. We see it's a coordination compound, 12th example. You see, by observing square brackets, we know that it is a coordination compound. Counter ion is chloride ion. Okay, this is a chloride ion. It is a cationic complex. It is a complex ion. Each complex ion having cobalt as a central metal atom. We have two types of ligands. One is carbonate, another is amine. So amine is a neutral ligand. We have to mention as such amine. Since carbonate is a negative ligand, carbonate -2, so it's a carbonato. So the charge of the central metal atom in the complex is Cl-1, so complex charge should be +1. To become +1, it is a -2 carb. That's why it is +3. So it's very important how to calculate the central metal atom oxidation is important. From that, it is known that charge on the cobalt is chloride is -1, therefore cation +1. To become +1, -2, for -2 we have to add +3. So that's the rule. So cobalt oxygen state is +3. So give the name. First cation name followed by anion name. What is cation? Complex ion is cation. That's why we name the compound. We have two types of ligands. Before mentioning the central metal atom, we have to give the names of ligands by following alphabetical order. Carbonate is C, amine is the A. So tetraamine carbonato. Why? Because it is a negative ligand. Tetraamine carbonato cobalt 3 chloride. Why 3? To become -1, we have to -2, we have to add +3. So +3, +3, -2, -1, +1. So okay, to become +1, we have to add cobalt +3. So this is the name of the compound is tetraamine carbonato cobalt 3 chloride. This is the name of the compound. Okay, it's clear. So in this way, we can give the names of different coordination compounds. Coming to one more, how to write the structure when the name is given. You see, the name of the compound is triamine trinitro cobalt 3. So from the name, it is known cobalt complex. First write the cobalt in square brackets. Okay, so write the first square brackets. Write the cobalt, C small o. Okay, this is a cobalt. Over. Then what are ligands are there? Triamine trinitro. So whenever writing the formula, first negative ligand first. Nitro, NO2 taken thrice. Then amine, and tri. So NH3 taken 3. So once again. So what is the formula of this compound is simply see, first write the square brackets, write the cobalt, NO2 thrice, NH3 form 3. So charge, then there is no counter ion, that means neutral molecule. So it is since nitro is -1, -3 is +3, cobalt 3. So name, so this is the structure. So what is structure? This is the structure. That's all. Don't write the formula charges. Once I write, this is the formula of this compound. Write the square bracket, CO, NO2 thrice, ammonia thrice. That's all. This is the formula. Next, this one, sodium hexafluoridosilicate. Since it's a silicate, silicon is central metal atom. Actually, it's not a metal, but silicon is your central. atom. So if I write the first square brackets, sodium is there, you have to write the first cation sodium. The complex is, why it's anion silicate, 8 is added to the, so silicon is a central atom. Then what are the ligands? Fluorides. How many? 6. That's all. This is the formula of the coordination compound. You see, sodium. How many sodiums? That's important. So since silicon is plus 4, it's a minus 6. Plus 4 minus 6 minus 2. So it's minus 2. Sodium should be plus 2. So this is the rule. So therefore the compound formula is Na2SiF6 in square brackets. So this is, so sodium hexafluoride silicate 4. Okay, name of the formula is declared sodium, just once again, Na2 SiF6. That's all. This is the formula of this compound. Okay, then coming to the third one. You see, what is this? Dichlorobis ethylene diamine cobalt 3 chloride. So cobalt is central metal atom, oxygen state is plus 3, chloride is counter ion, which is coming a negative second part of the name, that is a anion. So our complex is cationic complex. Ligands is chloro, one type of ligand, ethylene diamine, second type of ligand. How many number? 2 chlorides and 2 ethylene diamines. How to? Bis. Given is bis. That's why the formula is like this. So we first write the square brackets. See, first write the square brackets. Anion is chloride. Write the second part Cl, CO. Two types of ligands are there, chloro and diamine. First write negative again, Cl2 brackets ethylene diamine, take a 2. That's all. So how many chlorides? To know the chlorides, cobalt is a charge plus 3, this is minus 2, plus 2, minus 3, minus 1, plus 1. So only one chloride. So formula of the compound is this. So first write the square brackets, write the cobalt, there are 2 chlorides, okay, 2 ethylene diamines, only one chloride. How? Why is chloride? So as per the, from the oxygen state of the cobalt, we can shown that only one chloride. So this is the formula of the compound. I think clear. So last compound. You see, what is the name of the compound? You see, tetrapyridine platinum 2 tetrachloroplatinate 2. So that means in the name itself we are observing 2 metal atoms are there. One is similar type, platinum 2 and platinum 2. That means we have 2 complex ions, cationic complex ion as well as anionic. So both ions are complex ions. Cation as complex ion, anion also complex ion. So first we have to tell the cation name. That's why the pyridine, the living, the platinum has with the pyridine is a cation. So how many? Tetra. So 4. You write within the brackets. Once again, I repeat. So pyridine 4. Okay, brackets. So platinum. So one more square bracket. Once again platinum. In brackets chloro. So Cl4. That's all. This is the compound formula. So tetrapyridine platinum 2, tetrachloridoplatinate 2. The compounds. In this way, you have to give the names of the compounds. Whenever they give the formula, we can, by following these IUPAC rules, we can give the name. Or in other words, if they give the name, we are able to write the structure of the compound. So this is a, so IUPAC. In this class we have discussed, we have applied our known IUPAC rules to give the name of different coordination compounds. So today we are ending this class. In the next class we'll discuss Werner theory of coordination compounds. So thank you very much. We'll see you in the next class. Thank you very much.